And we all know that cooking under pressure makes everything taste better because the flavor can't escape. And also your vitamins and the nutrients and all of that good stuff that you want your food to keep, it's easier to keep them in the food with a pressure cooker. That's why chefs, famous chefs, use their pressure cookers. This is what we have going on for you today. We have the 8 quart, which is our most popular size here at HSN of pressure cookers. We are doing this for $99.90. We have 5 flex payments, so for less than $20, you're gonna be able to cook all the delicious food at home and see it for yourself. This is a great customer pick as well. So those reviews are available online so you can see them. And so we're gonna go into some demonstrations. In my case, and I have to share this story with you, I'm always so intimidated by pressure cookers. I walk into my dad's kitchen because he loves cooking. He has that old...
Is the old-fashioned one?
The old-fashioned
jiggly
one.
kind?
The jiggly kind. That every time it jiggles, I just move farther.
She's like, it's jiggling.
I'm like, okay, Daddy, I want to help you, but I can't. It's really intimidating. That's not what happens here. I'm right next to it, and this one's going.
We're right next to 9 of them.
Yeah,
you can't hear it. They don't jiggle. They don't make a noise. So if you're somebody that remembers Grandma's pressure cooker, I want you to remember it with fondness because she made the most beautiful foods in it. But I want you to watch this one because this one doesn't jiggle. It doesn't make a noise. This is an electric pressure cooker. This is 2015. We've come really far from the jiggly ones. But what hasn't changed is the amazing food that comes out of a pressure cooker. 3 reasons, in my opinion, why pressure cooking is so amazing. Number 1, the flavors. Unbelievable. Number 2, it's more nutritious. And number 3, the time that it takes you is about half, maybe even less than half, the time it would take you to do everything else. But most importantly to me, it's the flavors. The flavors that come out of a pressure cooker are unlike any way of cooking because everything gets infused back into the food because when you cook under pressure, there's nowhere for the flavors to escape to. Look what we've done inside this 8 quart pressure cooker. By the way, the 8 quart is by far the most popular size at HSN. If you look anywhere else, you're gonna pay about $120 for a 6 quart. At HSN, we are offering you our Elite 8 quart. It's the #1 selling pressure cooker in the history of HSN, and we're giving it to you for less than you would pay for a 6 quart at some other brand. So, a couple of reasons why ours is #1. Well, we have a built-in digital brain, and I'm gonna talk about that. But most importantly, the foods. The foods that come out of a pressure cooker are so unbelievably moist and juicy and tender. And watch as the bone literally peels off of our ribs, okay? Talk about fall off the bone. You can literally pull each of these bones out, okay? But that's not the most important. What's the most important is the flavors, Amy. And I just got a little forkful because I would like for you to just try it.
Absolutely.
Because it's almost like if you've never tried pressure cooked food, it's very hard to explain the difference. Then like say if this were on your grill or if you did it in your slow cooker, the foods that come out of a pressure cooker are so packed with flavors that it's almost hard to explain because there's nowhere for the flavors to evaporate to when you cook under pressure. But here's why Elite is #1. It's this digital brain, okay? This is important because this is a computer that we've literally built into the front of our machine. Now, most pressure cookers, you have to know pounds of pressure, PSI, temperature, whether it's fresh or frozen, how much your food weighs. Okay, with Elite, this is all I want you to know. What you're cooking. Literally
you don't
what
have
you're
to be
cooking.
an expert.
No, you don't even have to get out your calculator, okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you doing beans? We have a setting for beans. Are you doing brown rice? We have a setting for brown rice. White rice has its own setting. Wild rice has its own setting. Stew has its own setting. Poultry, 20 minutes from frozen. Pork and ribs, that was 30 minutes to those ribs. I mean, believe that. Soup in 16 minutes. Beef in 26, potatoes in 12, not an hour in your oven anymore. Desserts in 20, vegetables and fish in 5. There are 13 functions built into this machine. It is more than likely you are cooking one of those 13 items.
Right.
If not, there's a setting for manual. You can do your own time. There's also a delay timer. I can set this machine to come on tomorrow. Up to 24 hours in advance, I can set this machine to come on. I don't know of any pressure cookers out there that have this many features at this price point. It's an unbelievable machine. In fact, it's my favorite machine in my kitchen.
It really is. I mean, this is regularly here at HSN. $129.90. Today we're doing $99.90, and we're doing 5 flex payments. I mean, we've increased the number of flex payments because we want you to try it out. See, like I just ate that delicious meat, that pork, and like you said, it's hard to describe it. It's hard to describe it. You want to take it home, and like we were talking about the blender, make one meal. If you make one meal and you see how easy it is, you don't have to be an expert. With the pressure cookers, old-fashioned pressure cookers, you have to know what time, how long you're gonna have to keep it there. You're gonna have to, like when you release the air and all, like I don't even know, because I'm just so afraid of them.
Well,
this
yeah,
is
and
very,
that's the
very
old-fashioned version, but there's a reason Grandma used them. There's a reason she used such a crotchety old machine. She used that jiggly pressure cooker because it was the best way to cook.
Right, and
now
fast.
in the fastest way to cook. We just did 8 quarts of the most beautiful, ooey, gooey, not dry. I mean, look at this macaroni and cheese. We did jalapeno and pimento in ours just to give it a little kick. But this is gonna be the best meals you've ever created in your pressure cooker. 8 quarts of mac and cheese. Now, what's really great about the 8-quart size is that I don't always have to make 8 quarts, okay? This stock pot comes completely out. Wow, that's heavy. That's 8 quarts of mac and cheese.
You've got a lot of mac and cheese there.
This comes completely out. So if I only wanted to do 1 quart, I can only do 1 quart. You don't have to do 8 quarts. But think of it in terms of this. How much would an 8-quart stock pot cost you? An 8-quart non-stick stock pot would cost you about $100.
So true.
For just a good 8-quart stock pot.
That is true.
Now you're getting, of course you're getting the pot and you're getting the pressure cooker. And maybe you're thinking, well, pressure cooking sounds a little bit above my pay grade. Like in terms of like, maybe I'm not such a good cook. What I love about pressure cooking is that you need a pressure cooker if you can cook, and you need a pressure cooker if you can't cook. Because watch how easy it is to utilize these pressure cookers with our built-in digital brain. Okay, empty. This is my pot right there, okay? Comes out, totally non-stick, also goes in the dishwasher, all right? Ready for that? Yeah. Now, totally frozen chicken. Everybody can do this. I know even if you can't cook that you can pull completely frozen chicken breasts out of your freezer, grab them at the grocery store. But that doesn't have to be chicken. That could be a bag of frozen meatballs. It could be frozen shrimp. It could be pork. Whatever you want to put in there, put it in there frozen, okay? Then all you need is a liquid. So we're just going to use a jar of salsa, but you could use a jar of your favorite marinara sauce. This could be red wine. It could be white wine.
My gosh.
It could be like a can of soda if you're doing ribs, or a can of beer, or a can of soup. Any liquid that you want to infuse the flavor, I want you to pour on top. Okay, ready? I'm done. I'm done. Mix. I didn't mix, I didn't measure, I didn't sort, I didn't sift. I don't have to get out a calculator to figure out PSI. Watch what I do. I go straight down to that digital brain, that computer that I was telling you that's built in so beautifully. And because I did chicken, I'm gonna literally select the button that says poultry. It reads 20 minutes. From frozen, I hit the start button. You're gonna see that little digital readout means that it's coming to pressure. Once the machine comes to pressure, from frozen in 20 minutes, my food is done.
The great thing is that you can't mess up.
You can't.
You can't.
You literally can't mess it up.
It's so easy. You just, you know, it's pre-programmed. You have all the options there. All you do is select the one that you are going to do, and then that's it. You just leave and let it cook, and then you're gonna look like the best cook.
Well, that's why I say you need a pressure if you can cook, and if you can't cook. Because those of you that can't cook, or maybe you just don't like to cook, look at the chicken breast. After 20 minutes from the freezer, from rock hard, solid frozen, I am able to peel it apart with 2 forks.
Okay, and so you cook that like you just showed here.
That was the exact demonstration that I just did. 20 minutes later, my chicken breast comes out so tender, so moist, so juicy, and not that just that. Every bite that you see here is infused with the flavors of the jar of salsa. Because when you cook under pressure, there's nowhere else for your flavors to escape to. So they get pressed, basically pressurized, back into your food. So every bite of this chicken has these beautiful, intense flavors. It's like you bite into it and it will burst in your mouth. It will melt in your mouth. The flavors are so you know, like solidified. They're just so much more intense. nutrients, let's use that word, than any other way of cooking. Because if you cook like on a stovetop, or maybe you're somebody that would have traditionally done those chicken breasts like in an oven, when you do either of those ways of cooking and you see steam leaving your food, that's evaporation, that's nutrients, that's flavor, that's moisture leaving your food.
And it starts to dry out.
It starts to dry out. But when you cook under pressure, it absolutely can't dry out. So not only is it more flavorful, it's faster. We're actually going to bring up
let's look at the cooking times.
So you can actually see ribs and pork in 30 minutes. By the way, these are all our pre-programmed functions. You just press ribs or pork. Poultry, you're talking in 20 minutes. Beans, that's 14 minutes from dry. Beef, 26 minutes. Vegetables in 5.
Seriously?
I mean, 5 minutes. And then we have our desserts in, I think it's 18 or 20 minutes. So at the end of the day, it's faster. It's more flavorful.
That's like dry beans we're talking about?
Dry beans.
Okay, now you got me with that one.
Dry beans.
That's it.
So if you're somebody that soaks your beans overnight, you don't have to do
the whole process.
No, you don't
and
have to do
especially
that.
if you're doing the cans, we're going back to eating healthy. Those cans are filled with sodium and things that you don't want to put in your body. This is a great way to do it because pressure cookers will do it fast and we'll do it easily, especially in this great improved, you know, not old-fashioned way of doing it. We're standing right next to it. You don't see anybody getting burned. You just put all your ingredients in there.
There's no jiggling.
Nothing. And the flavors that you're gonna get out of pressure cooking are to die for.
They really are, and it's really showcased by what I'm revealing here. This to me is like Grandma's meal. This is what my grandmother used to make. I just smell this and it brings me back to like her home in Indiana. Where I spent so much lovely time. But food brings back memories for us. And look at this. Now, Grandma might have spent all day trying to make this, but nowadays, this is 2015. Whether or not you actually have time to spend all day in the kitchen, most of us don't really want to. So, I'm talking to you if you're a busy mom. I'm also talking to you if you're retired and you have a lot of extra time. You just don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. Look what you can get in a matter of 40 minutes to the most beautiful pot roast that you've probably ever done. And then ready for this potato, I'm gonna take one for the team, it's hot, but you can burst into these. They explode with flavor. They are perfectly cooked.
And look at
then
all the
our
food
carrots.
you took out of that one.
Oh, there's still
more in there.
I mean,
perfectly cooked.
We did our celery, we did our carrots. You can see just by the color of our carrots, not one nutrient has escaped, okay? Because normally if you cook carrots, they're a little bit like leached in terms of their color. Look at how bright orange that carrot is. Perfectly cooked, no nutrients have escaped. So you're eating a more flavorful meal, but you're also eating a healthier meal. And you're doing it 60% faster. And so maybe you're somebody that's like, okay, I've learned about pressure cooking, I've heard about pressure cooking. For some reason, I just haven't pulled the trigger. I just want you to try it. Give it 30 days, read the reviews. People go crazy for this machine. In fact, it's the #1 selling pressure cooker in the history of HSN.
That is right. And we've got some reviews from customers who bought these, maybe at that original price of $130, and they're happy with them. I'm gonna walk closer to the screen so I can read them to you. I hate to cook. Oh, that sounds like me. But need to eat healthy, and this pressure cooker makes it so easy. In the time it took me to complete a 30-minute workout DVD, my dinner was done and the flavors were awesome. I love that.
That's a great review.
I love that. There's another one. I cooked a meal in 35 minutes. That would have been taking me 2 hours. This includes cleanup. Really happy with my electronic pressure cooker. I have one more that I want to share with you. I have never used a pressure cooker before and was a bit intimidated. I can relate to that. However, I followed the user guide, which was included in my husband, and I absolutely love this product. We now make dinners that we would never had attempted before. Would definitely recommend this to anyone. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's a great point.
There are things that I want to cook that I could never even attempt to try to make.
Or you would never attempt.
You would never.
Look at this beautiful chili. This is done by just simply pressing the button that says stew. This is done in 18 minutes. Once you put all of your raw ingredients in, you can even put in your your beans from dry up front. If you want to do dried beans, do those first and then add your chili ingredients and pop it into that stew function. It's already programmed to know how long your stew needs. So chili would be considered a stew, and that's 18 minutes, and that's just from start to finish. Most people I know, they have their chili going all day in a slow cooker.
Right.
And nowadays, we're nervous about leaving our slow cookers on while we leave the house because we don't want some appliance running while we're gone.
Right.
This one, it's done in 18 minutes. You don't need to leave the house and let it simmer all day. But here's what you're gonna get. You're gonna get the flavors of a slow cooked meal. Right. Because when you cook under pressure, everything melds and like marries together. And like, you know how when you eat chili, it's usually like better 2 or 3 days later?
Yes.
When you eat chili from a pressure cooker, it tastes like next day chili immediately coming out of the pot. That's a big statement.
Yes, because all the liquids is infused into the food. It's got nowhere to escape.
You got it. That's such a perfect point. You can also can in this pressure cooker, okay? So anybody that likes to do small batch canning, you can can inside this pressure cooker. Just not for nothing. A pressure canner is about 300 bucks. For a pressure canner. You're now getting your pressure canner with your pressure cooker. The manual tells you exactly how long your canning will take. We have the progressive canning kit at hsn.com. If you're interested at all in canning, maybe you're somebody that's starting getting into canning, that's a great progressive canning kit. And we also have the stainless steel inserts. If you're somebody that's interested in doing a secondary pot, check out the stainless steel insert on hsn.com as well. Oh, and the cookbook.
And the cookbook.
It's an amazing cookbook. Just check it out because, you know, these recipes inside this cookbook were all created by Allison, who works with this pressure cooker.
Exactly.
So they were all created with this. So it's almost like you got to get both of those.
Yeah, so many different ideas that you're going to find there. That's available on hsn.com. So make sure you check that out, as well as reading the reviews from our customers, because we read a few good ones. I love the one where she was doing her workout on the DVD. I tend to do that a lot because I would like to get out. The food was done when she got with the workout.
I know.
And
I love that because it's true. You can throw it in there, get on your elliptical, get on your chair gym, whatever you want to do, and then your food is done. Especially if you're doing something like what I'm about to pour out here, is we did our seafood boil with potatoes and corn and crab legs and mussels. Okay, all of this. Wow. How long do you think that took?
I don't know.
5 minutes.
No.
Not 55 minutes. 5 minutes from start to finish. Once it comes to pressure, I'll show you the button I chose. Ready? I'm going to choose the button. I go all the way over here, and they're the very final choice out of our 13 selections.
5 minutes is right there.
Vegetables and fish.
Oh,
Vegetables and fish take 5 minutes. Once the machine comes to pressure, in 5 minutes, they're completely done. I've done king crab legs in here. Okay, king crab legs, they're expensive.
Yes.
So if you get some king crab legs and you splurge on getting king crab legs, you don't want to ruin them.
Right, that's
when you put it in a pressure cooker, 5 minutes,
easy, perfect. Oh my gosh, you're gonna start smelling the food almost ready, and you're gonna be more motivated to finish that workout.
That's right. That's so right. Well, especially if you do something like this. This is a really fun one. This is our pressure cooker lasagna. And it was done, once we added all of our layers to the pot, this took 7 minutes under pressure. Look at this lasagna. Look at how gorgeous that lasagna is. 7 minutes under pressure.
Delicious.
Okay. Now, lasagna, not for nothing. I mean, it takes about an hour and 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, if you do it the way I used to do it, you got 20 pots going to do lasagna.
Right.
You're doing your noodles, and then you're doing your brown and your meat, then you're doing your veggies. Okay, this is all done in one pot. I use the no-bake noodles completely from raw noodles.
That's so crazy.
In 7 minutes. So
you just
I go crazy. Yeah, you
so
just do your layers. And then you do your manual time on this one at 7 minutes. You walk away.
7 minutes.
I would let it sit like you would regular lasagna.
We only have 2.5 minutes left.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, we have 5 flex payments, which I love. Less than $20 to try this for yourself.
Look at this.
It's so easy that you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it that you're paying $20 and you do the first meal. And that's all you're gonna have to do to fall in love with this incredible product that we have for you this morning. What you got going on here?
Okay, so football season I know has begun because my husband's been glued to the television all weekend. And
that's how we can tell, right?
And it drives me crazy. But it doesn't matter anymore, because if he's having friends over, I can throw in some pulled pork, just put it in here, and we've done mojo pulled pork, so we utilize the mojo liquid, but you could do barbecue sauce or